Yo, Shalom. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Shalom, Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Wonderwana, Shalom. Hella Chadas, Shalom. Yeah, we made it on time today. All praises, all praises. We'll begin immediately. Um, how y'all feeling? Can I be heard in the chat? Put a 1 in there, and then we'll begin this thing. The title of the class: Illegal Eagles. We're gonna be talking about this here United States of America, these divided states of America. Man, people want to hold this thing up, man. People be wanting to hold this thing up. You gotta let it go, though. People be wanting to go against war with Iran. So be it. So be it. Let their pride be their downfall, man. And it's all the Most High's doing, man. He's the master chess player. They've been sending rockets back and forth. The time. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be 5 years, but it's just a sign for us to keep on going and keep on enduring and keep on doing the Most High's work. But without further ado, I just want to give all honor and praises to the Most High, the Yahushua, our Lord and Savior, and we patiently waiting for Him to come back and to visit this earth, man, so we could come and save His people. The water for everybody attending, and for people that's going to be joining, and for the people on the replay. Thank you for your time and your diligence. Really appreciate y'all. This is the Friday evening class, and without further ado, man, yeah, it's illegal Eagles, man. Now listen, when the so-called white man who we know as Esau, he came over here illegally. There was already people over here, man. But you know how he do. And he was blessed with that blessing of the sword. So we took this land, And you got the Ishkarites, they want it back. At least California. Man. And they over there talking crazy. They trying to annex California right now. All right. That's what they people is talking about over there. So it's all falling down, man. It's all falling down slowly but surely. But that's what we get, man. We're here for a reason. Everything is happening for a reason. So let's get Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49, and it reads, "The Most High shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand." Now we know that this tongue was the English. And we know that America, Rome, and a lot of these European countries too, they like to have the eagle as their symbol. And even on the dollar bill, I don't have it, but if you flip it to any which way, you'll see that eagle. You'll see that eagle, because why? Because we didn't follow the Most High, man. So this is coming up the first 15. Y'all should know it by now. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, Yahweh thy power, to observe and do all his commandments and these statutes which I command thee this day. Okay? Not 1,000 years ago, this day. Until this day, so all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And we living through them. And we living through them. And we going through them. And as we see our other nations is living through them and going through them. Our brothers, our cousins, our family on the northern side and the northern kingdom, they going through these same things too as well. Don't let this, I was saying that yesterday in the street, man, to this one couple, man, don't let this online bitter batter chatter distract you and divide you and divorce you from our people. Me personally, I grew up around Mexican people, so-called Issacharite people, you know. So it's just a shame to see this beast of America, use this and use our people against each other, you know. Let them be divided on the Republican, Democrat, and the wars that's going on overseas. We got to come closer and unite as a people, you know. I know that some of y'all want to stay out of it and do this and do that, but we shouldn't be sowing seeds of division, because that just makes us just like the devil. That makes us just like the so-called white man sowing those seeds of division, you know. Let's get Obadiah 1:4, just so we confirm what this eagle is that we talk about. It's the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou dost set thy nest among the stars, I will bring thee down. I will bring thee down, right? And guess who? Guess what went down? Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. Guess what went down, boy? I'm gonna share it. Jeez. Woo. Oh man. I'm gonna turn the volume off though. Turn the volume off. I'm gonna present. Share the screen. Yeah, man, it's the scriptures coming to life right here. All right. Well, let me play this. Come on, Post University. Well, Obadiah 1:4, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? Thou shalt set thy nest among the stars, and I shall bring thee down, man. This is the star base in Texas. So it exploded. There's another one that of it crashing down too as well. There's another one of it crashing down as well. But that rocket was about to go off, man. Burnt it to a crisp, man. Hold on, let me see if I can get something else. Man, bro. Mm-hmm. So you see it, man. Try to exalt yourself. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen, family. This is just the beginning. Oh. Yeah, I didn't have time. I just came. That just came to me. That just came to me, man. But the Most High is going to bring thee down. And that's not the only thing that's going to go down. You know, I know that we're enjoying an all right economy, but that's going to go down slowly but surely too, right? What else is going down? Their stockpiles. You know, in Israel, they got the interceptors intercepting all those missiles. They stockpile is low. They can't defend themselves really against Iran. Now, I thought, like a lot of people, man, they was trying to let the missiles in so they could pull America in. But man, they hitting everything. They hitting everything. I'm not gonna show that. I don't want no strike. I don't want no strike. But they hitting everything. You can go and see it. A lot of times I go into work and then I'll pull up the YouTube and then it's like boom, they going at it again, and then I'll see the arrows and all of that go down. They got that Fatah 1. It's a hypersonic missile now. All right. America can't defend against that. They can't defend against that thing. It's too fast. 3 times the sound, the speed of sound. Nobody can defend against that thing yet. That's why I brought out a couple, like maybe a month ago now. You know, they're trying to build that Golden Dome. to protect themselves, right? And the whole world is against the that fake nation of Israel that's filled with different versions of the so-called white man known as Amalek. Yeah, man, it's going down, man. But if America does act, man, that's going to be tremendous. That's going to be a tremendous thing. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be kind of scary. But if you're doing the Most High's works, man, if you're doing what you need to do day by day, even if you fall, if you pick yourself up quickly, man, and get back on track, man, you ain't got nothing to worry about, man. You got nothing to worry about. But this thing could go off and set off at any moment. There's still some things to happen, but we definitely in that time. We're definitely in that time, man. Definitely, man. But it's all coming back to bite you. All coming back. Let's go back to Genesis. Let's get Genesis, man. And who's here? Who's that eagle, man? Hey, Shalom, Mr. Cry Princess. Who is that eagle, man? It's a so-called white man, man, and he hates us. He hates us because we took his blessing. And because of that hatred, he finds himself and his people, especially the lowly people, they find themselves desperate and destitute and wanting and needy. And I'll explain that. Hold on. Let me get that. Genesis chapter 27, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob. Okay? God loves everybody, right? We should love. He hates us, and he shows it every day, man. They got these people talking about you're next if you don't stand up. You're next. You're next, right? Sorry, something just popped up. Man, we've been next. We've been hunted. You know, I know the Northern Kingdom getting a little bit of taste of that, but we've been the number one enemy here. We've been. So welcome to the party. And now Northern Kingdom can stop cooning, right? And we can start forming some coalitions, right? Coalitions in Yahushua, which is that foundation that's not going to break. Everything else failed. Everything else failed. Those revolutions, the marches, even these riots, they got Edomites littered all up in them. They failed. They failed time and time again. They got Marines going to be sicked on Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, man. You know, people getting shot up, people getting arrested on sight. Man, this is going down up here. It's getting sent up. And that's all because this man hates us, man. It hates us, but it's going to pay a price, man. And they feeling it. Genesis 27 and 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, he said in his mind, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob, man. And that's what he do, man. That's how you know the white man is doing his so-called job, man. Because he's oppressing our people. But it comes at a price. We're the reason. Your hatred for us is the reason why people don't got universal health care. And they need it bad. Your hatred for us is the reason why these veterans are walking around with their mental health issues, right? And all other sorts of ailments. Your hatred for us has prevented these housing markets to blossom and bloom because you wanted to practice discrimination. Your hatred for us, you know, got the banks on low, got those interest rates high. Those predatory practices against our people, man, it's coming around and it's biting you in the rear end. because you don't want to share nothing because of your jealousy. And you know, deep in your heart, we're going to get eternal life, right? We're going to get eternal life. And you're thinking that, nah, they can't be blessed here too. They can't get a double blessing. I ain't gonna give Keisha and Jamal and Michael health care. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. They gonna get the ultimate health care when the Most High and His Son come back. I'm not giving them nothing, you know. What else, man? Just about everything. The schools in Chicago is empty, right? Even the white folks is going through that. Schools is empty in the Chicago public school system. I ain't gonna bring up the article or whatnot. There's a whole bunch of things that are happening because of his hatred towards our people, man. Towards a black man and woman and child, the Hispanic man, woman, and child, right? The Central Americans, those of us that are scattered in the Caribbean and all throughout the four corners of the earth, right? We're not talking about Eastern Europe and those heathen that are trading places with us at this very time, man. Yeah, man, it's deep. It's deep because now their people are hurting and their people are getting inflicted and they want to know why. Why they can't have what other countries have. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Because we hate the so-called black man. And they want to get off that ship, but the ship has sailed too far, man. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it now. But they don't know how to get down how we get down. They don't know how to survive how we survive, right? They don't know how to ration like we know how to ration when it's hard times, all right? They don't know that. We got that. Come. These are some of the things, man, that's going on right now in this world, man. Let's get some of the law real quick. Let's talk about some of the financial aspects of this country, man, that ain't worth a darn. And some of these things we do, man. Some of these things get rubbed off on us. But let's get Leviticus. Let's get 19. Let's get 19 real quick. Let's switch it up. Let's get Leviticus 19. Let's switch it up. The water for joining. I got 6 people on. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I know this is the AOC Chicago channel. Please subscribe to us so we can grow. Growth is good, you know. And the water for your contribution. Leviticus 13, man. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. All right. You know, we got teen takeovers. You know, with all of our younger brothers and sisters out there doing no good, and they over there defrauding, robbing, right, in groups. And who made it normal? Who made it really normal? I'm telling you, man, right now, man, that them 2020 protests made it real normal to do all these things. Made it real normal to do all these things. And now every time you got a protest, you got a riot, and then you got a loot. You got a protest, you got a riot, and you got a loot. And after that George Floyd stuff. But I'm here to tell you right now, thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Scriptures, that thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor. All right? Going on dates, all right? Even in South America, right? I know you got it bad over there. But these so-called black men that are going over there, you know, for the right reasons, trying to find something, trying to find a rib, trying to find a wife, trying to build a family, they getting poisoned. They getting everything stolen. You know, we robbing and defrauding our people, man, because of our conditions. You know, but later on, I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about something in Judges, man, and how this thing is just a test. It's a test, you know. Will you do the wrong thing when the odds are against you, or will you do the right thing? Right? It's like that Job. It's like when he tests Job. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn on this light. Turn on this light real quick. Yeah, man. So will you keep your character and your integrity, or will you be like so-called white man that likes to rob and steal everything? Rob and steal your culture, monetize it, take advantage of it, right? All these types of things, man. Can't be like that, man. When the pressure is on, how are you going to perform? You know, we can't be like that, man. We better than that. We better than that, man. We better than that. Where we at? Where we at? Yeah, thumbs up on the live. The water. All praises, man. All praises. The wages of him, let's take it from the top. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, right? Neither rob him. Right? We shouldn't have to be so scared to tuck in the chains and everything like that. You know, that's how we got to get back to these scriptures. That's how we got to go out there and teach our people. You know, a king should walk around with his kingly things and not be afraid. But that's not the times that we live in, man. Some of us are wicked, man. And we haven't had anything our whole life. So all we know how to do is take and steal, right? Verse 11, ye shall not steal no deer falsely, neither lie to one another. All right? That's what the so-called white man do. That's what that Jew does over there. That small hat. That's what he does. That Jewish. That Israeli. All right? That's what they do, man. We got to be better than that. How is the Most High going to differentiate between us and these heathen? Between us and the other nations if we doing the same things? That's why everybody got the Gentile thing mixed up. You know, we become Gentiles when we go in the way of the heathens. You know, when we practice usury against each other, that's what they do to us. You know, man, you didn't give me that $20 on Friday, man. I'm gonna up it, man. You owe me 40 now. You know? Oh man. Neither thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. Come on, man. So this is what we uplifted, man. This is what we holding up against this wicked kingdom, you know, because we know that, you know, America is anti-Bible. All right, is anti our people, is definitely anti-family, you know, and that's what it is. Oop. Yep. So I got pop-ups. So let's get Deuteronomy chapter 24. Let's keep it in there. Deuteronomy chapter 24. I ain't gonna keep y'all for that long though. We'll see how far we can go. Our praises. Deuteronomy chapter 24. This is what they do though, man. This is what they do to the northern kingdom, to the so-called Mexican people, man. That's our people. Deuteronomy 24:14. Thou shalt not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy. Right? You know, you micromanage us. All right. Doesn't America micromanage? And then what happens when we become the managers? We even worse than them. You're right. And then we all make minimum wage, but you over here doing the most, being extra, you know? You know, let Deron and LeBron and all them, man, let them live, man. If they gotta tap on their phone a little bit, man, let them tap on their phone a little bit, man. You know, they millennials, man. Don't be like that so-called white man. We all at the bottom, man. We all trying to make ends meet. We all live in check to check, man. Right? So let that so-called white manager do that, you know. But we do the most, man, because we here. That's why this place gotta go. Thou shalt not oppress a higher servant that is poor and needy, whether he be brethren or of strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. So that's a lot of clash right there. That's a lot of clash right there. Coming from the Most High, man. And that's what they did to us when we were slave, man, oppressing us. And even when we were out of slavery, you know, you got the sharecropping, right? All that, you know, and then okay, slavery's over. And that's why I can't stand these white people, man. Can't stand Esau when their grandchildren, the grandchildren of the slaves, man, and their ancestors. I mean, in the generations that came out of them that are living here right now, that I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. It don't end at slavery, man. You had the sharecropping too. Okay, yeah, you're free, but you need a job, don't you? Well, you know, you're gonna need equipment, right? To pick this cotton and to do all these different things, right? Well, I'll give you a loan. I'll give you a loan. And all of a sudden, you got to work that loan off like you still a slave, right? You oppressing our people, man, as hired servants. So even when we're hired servants, you still oppress us, and you find loopholes, right? You had the convict leasing and all types of craziness, man. And look what you do too. You take advantage of these hardworking Issacharite men trying to make ends meet, right? You got them picking vegetables. They ain't picking cotton, but they picking fruits and vegetables, and they're irrigating the land, and they're doing it for dirt cheap, right? You got ICE coming in after 20 years and taking them all away, right? So you know, yeah, man, I seen, man, they had ran up in a car wash and took away brothers, man. Man, ran up in a car wash and took away brothers. You know, so that's what times that we in, man. Let's get 15. At this day thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor. And he setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry unto thee, the Most High, and it be sent unto thee, right? So you got to pay them, you got to pay people their wages each day before sunset. So says the scriptures, right? Yeah, it just proves how much they hate us, man. I guarantee you, if there was none of our people here and it was just their land, everybody would get paid that day. But now we got to wait 2 weeks. We got to wait till Friday. Have you ever had it where y'all got a bi-monthly check? You know how crazy that is? You know how depressing that is, man? Man, that is depressing, man. A bi-monthly. I think I was working, it was like around like 2015, 2016, something like that. They had bought the place. I ain't gonna say where, but they had bought the place. It was new management. And then we went from bi-weekly to bi-monthly. All right. And of course, when they do that, you know they saving money. You know they saving money when they doing stuff like that. And it's just like, man, how much? I got bills to pay, right? Even in Romans, it say we gotta take care of our taxes, we gotta take care of our debts, you know, and all these types of things. How am I supposed to do that if you paying me on the 7th and the 28th? Or something like that. You pay me on the 1st and then the 30th, knowing that everything is going to hit in the middle of the month, man. Knowing everything's gonna hit in the middle of the month, man. But let's say at the scriptures, man, pay them the wages each day before sunset because they are poor and are counting on it, right? And it says whether the worker is a fellow Israelite or a foreigner residing in one of your poor towns, man. 16 years you had that? Oh my God. I hope not. Yeah, I would have, but some people, I would for the state. Oh, it was once a month? No way. You see how illegal that is? These are legal eagles, man. This stuff is illegal in the book of the law, man. That is illegal. That is illegal, man. These illegal eagles out here. That's crazy. I feel for you. I hope you left. I hope you left that. I hope that paycheck was good though. I really do. Yeah, stuff like that would make me want to save. Stuff like that make me want to save. Shit, I'm trying to save right now because you never know with these devils. You never know. You know. Oh, okay, okay, okay. DSS Department of Revenue. Yep. Okay. Yeah, them government jobs are something else. Government jobs are something else, man. I'm telling you. Let's get let's keep it on. Let's keep it on, man. Let's keep it on. Let's get James real quick. Let's see what it says. I'll break it down in I think this is an ESV2 that I got too, because I like how that explains it too. James, 5 and 4. James 5 and 4. Well, I hope you get out of that, sister. And I hope everybody, finds the right situation for them. Because I know that sometimes there's not a lot of jobs in the area, so a lot of people are forced to work on the Shabbat, forced to work hours and take different wages. That's just not right. That's not right. I don't know what they doing in California, but a lot of people is moving up out of there too as well because it's unlivable. So but that's this eagle for you, man. It's the so-called white man. That's America. But there's better days for us, man. There's better days for us. And we got the kingdom to look up to, man. That's going to be righteous. That's going to be full of justice, and equality for our people, man. James chapter 5, verse 4. Yeah, James chapter 5, verse 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers, which you have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. All right. So the wages you failed to pay the workers who mowed your fields are crying out against you. Right. And we could go all the way back, man. The unfair, that's why people are marching in the streets, getting the unions, right? Because of the greed of the so-called white man in this system. Right. And how they go about their business. Right. That's why people be marching and doing those labor unions and all these types of things. I know. And then the CEOs are billionaires and all these types of things, and they don't want to give it up. Pause. They don't want to pay their fair share. They don't want to pay their fair share to the people that made them what they are. How am I going to build a company, but then move it overseas and say, all right, peace out, and all these different types of things, man. It's injustice. It's unrighteous. It's definitely fraud. And you're going to have to pay for that, man. Behold, the hire of the laborers which reap down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Right? So, man, this is unfair wages, man. These are the unfair wages, right? That we talk about here in this country, man. I don't know why, and the so-called white man wanna live it up. He want to praise this thing, and it's unrighteous. A lot of it's due because we're here with them. Like I said before, the tax thing, the interest, and all these types of things, man, it's because of us that are here, and they're actually going through it because of that. with these new cars, all right? The used cars, the market, all the market this, the market that. You know, the market's the way it is because you hate the so-called black man, a woman, Hispanic man, a woman, and child. That's why it's the way it is, man. And now because of it, you're gonna see your kingdom slowly but surely crash. Economically, socially, right? That's what it is, man. I mean, and they crying out online, you know, and they crying out all over the TikToks and the YouTubes, man. And they just came to the conclusion that the reason why this America is so unfair is because they've been so unfair to the children of the Most High, man. That's the only reason. That's the only reason left. There ain't no more pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I got it. Right? I heard a white woman say that she had to pay $700 for groceries. You know what I'm saying? So it's coming back. It's coming back. There was a time when we had to grow our own food and we couldn't even shop with y'all or buy groceries. You know, we had to be self-sufficient up in this thing. You know, so it's imperative, you know, that we use our ingenuity. I didn't think I was gonna get that one out. And use our mind that the Most High gave us, man, and grow gardens, right? Get into those types of things, you know, so we can be self-sufficient, so we know the food is real, you know, and they're even tampering with the seeds too. So we got to be very careful. We got to be very careful, man. But when there's a will, especially the Most High's will, there's going to be a way for sure. Yeah. And their children have been cursed because I've noticed many of them indulge in drugs and their lives are cut short. Yes, what their children do, you know, our children, and we did because it was forced on us. It was propagandized, you know, with the movies and all these different types of things, you know, to be a glorious drug dealer. You know, when they had the CIA and all these types of things collude and put things in our neighborhoods, right? They have things like bait trucks where they open up a truck with a whole bunch of valuables in it. Yeah, in a poor community, and they baiting these poor people that are our people to hop up in the truck, you know, and see what's going on up in it. Like, why would anybody leave their car door open? You know, of course people go come in there, but that's a test though. But that's a test. If you really walking righteous with the Most High, bait cars, that's what it is. Bait cars, right. Bait cars and all these types of different things, man. And you think it's a joke, you think it's a mockery. All right, when the Most High crashed this car market and y'all can't afford y'all car payments, then we're gonna see what's a bait car or not. All right. And all these different little tricks that this devil uses against our people, man, it's despicable. It's despicable. Proverbs 16. Let's get Proverbs 16 real quick. Come on, man. I had seen that during the week too. I'm like, man, are you kidding me, man? I know that you can force somebody to do a crime, you know, but that's also that when I get into it, but that's a test though. That's a test. You know, when you see people at that AutoZone, all the brothers and sisters from the northern and the southern kingdom raiding that AutoZone, man. You know, you got to look at that and be like, man, nah, I'm not trying to take a part of that. You know, I'm not trying to take a part of that. Brothers going to this club, that club, you know, ain't prayed up, doing this, doing that. Man, you know what, man? That's a dangerous spot, man. I'm not going to take part of it. And then what happens in the morning, you hear such and such did this and that. You hear such and such laid with somebody and got this and that, you know, and all these different types of situations because it's a test, man. He puts forth tests for us, you know. And sometimes we're going to fail them. I failed plenty of tests. But through the good graces of the Most High, came back with my 2 arms, my 2 feet with no handcuffs on them, you know. and I can wake up and have a better chance at it. You know, so that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So we can't get baited. I like that. We can't get baited into doing evil, right, in this country, man. We got to walk righteously. And that's going to really make them mad. That's going to really make them mad. That's going to really make them mad. You know, let's get Proverbs 16 and 11. Right? A just weight and balance are the most highs. And that's how you know that this ain't the kingdom, you know, saying all what is cracked up to be the American dream and all these types of things, man. These crackers, man, they trying to live it up. These Edomites trying to live it up, man. And go ahead, man. But it's all gonna come crashing down because the weight is imbalanced. Even the richest of you want nothing to do with y'all, poor Edomites. Want nothing to do with y'all. Right? So let them be divided and let us come together. Let us come together, right? Let's stop the colorism. All shades of brown are beautiful, right? Let's stop that colorism. Let's stop that divisiveness. All right. We got to come together for the Most High in Yahushua, man. That's what we got to do, man. So when we go out there and teach, when I go out there and teach, that's definitely going to be the message for the Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters and families that walk by, you know, because that's another wicked device. You know, that's another wicked device that he does, especially with this social media, man. And with the people that don't really know the scriptures, that don't know the truth, you know, that's quick to react to things. A lot of our people like to just react off the stuff. Oh, so and so did this and said this, and so did that and said that, and we don't really think rational. We don't really think rational about these things, man. And we go up and we say things that we might want to take back. You know, we call people slurs and everything because we see a black man trying to just do his job because he worked for the police force. You can't, yeah, he worked for the dang police force. All right, he was ordered to go and stand and try to preserve order, right? But and you call them N words and stuff. We can't have that. We can't further divide because that stuff gets out there on the internet, man, and then it just causes more damage. And the so-called white man is just rubbing their hands like, yep. You know, no, let them fight. Let them duke it out. Yeah, they trying to divide us, man. Yeah, they trying to divide us with all these little things, you know. Woman against man, too. They get all these things, right? Seen a lot about this Tayana Taylor and all these little celebrities with their divorces. Haley and DDG and all these type of things, divorces, and they trying to put that on you to not unify your family, you know. And then we got the team homegirl, and they got the team homeboys, you know. And it is just this constant battle of the sexes, right? Constant battle of black versus Mexican, constant battle of just about everything, man. And we got to take a step back and say, man, whoa, right? Because they house is getting bigger and their schools is getting better, right? And all these types of things, man, while we still arguing over the same dang things, man. So we got to wake up, man. If we're going to argue about anything, man, let's argue about the scriptures at least, but not about these mundane things. All the weights of the bag of his work, man. So this is the bag that we got to be chasing, man. Balance, man. Justice, righteousness. Hey, Ashar Shabbat. Ashar Shabbat, sister. Ashar Shabbat, sister Pathaya. Let's get judges. Let's get judges real quick, man. Yeah, man. But you know, we've overcame the dishonesty. We've overcame his crude financial dealings with us. You know, Our people do prosper here at a small clip, you know, and we're going to keep on pushing. When it all falls down for them, they're not going to know how to act. Some of these people are going to be jumping off of buildings. When they 410K goes away, they're going to be flying like eagles out them skyscrapers. That's for sure. Because they're not built like we are. They're not built for this, Like I said before, Mother Bethia got on, man, they don't know how to ration things, They don't know how to really get down like that, Like stocks and bonds. Yeah, there you go. With the stocks and bonds and these things, they're not built like us, and that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing to be built like that, man. And be like, you know what? We gotta compensate. We don't have enough of this. We don't have enough of that, but we gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. And that's what we do the best, man. We make things work. We make things work, man. All praises to the Most High. We make things work. I remember this one Mexican girl used to say, "Hey, listen, when we broke, 1 tortilla. When we rich, 2 tortillas." They do like the double tortillas and everything like that. Yeah, man, with that carne asada, that cilantro and onion, that's my favorite right there. Yeah, man, we got to ration though. We got to ration a little bit. When we don't got it, only one. Hold on. When we got it, all right, get two, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. Quesadilla. Yeah, all of that, man. All of that stuff, man. Yeah, man. But that's the cool part about our people, man. We ain't gonna be phased by all that stuff. We gonna make it work. We definitely gonna make it work, man. Yeah. Judges. Let's get the book of Judges. We definitely gonna make it work, man. All praises to Most High. Man, it's gonna be hot out there, man. Y'all hydrate, drink your water, try to put some lemon up in that thing, Yeah, man. I'm trying to get into those big jugs of water. I don't know how better they are than bottled water. I just can't find myself drinking bottled water right now. Just the water just tastes a little off to me, man. I just got to invest in something different. Yeah, man, but that's the thing. If we weren't here, they'd probably be having fresh spring water in the springs and all that type of thing, because they hate us so much, man. They put themselves in a bind. They put themselves in this bind, and they're going to end up oppressing themselves because they oppressed us, because the Most High is a genius, and those curses are going to flip. So those wicked devices that they got for us, that's going to hit them. And what the Sister Iskarite preachers brought out was the drugs flipped on them, right? You got the meths and all of that type of situation. They go through that. So, yeah, man, all praises, man, that the Most High sees us. Cucumber lemon. Yeah, okay. Blend the cucumber in the blender. Okay, yeah. I remember when you walk in like Marriott's and everything, they'll have like cilantro and like all that type of stuff in the water, and it's flavored and it's good, so maybe I just got to practice more. Yeah, add a mint. That's what it is. Mint, not cilantro. I'm thinking about tacos still. Yeah, man, but they add that up in there. Yeah, man. You got I don't know if my folks do it a lot, but they got the sun tea and all that type of things, man. So but be careful out there. I know there's a heat advisory and all that, but we them people, but still our people do get heat strokes. So make sure you're hydrated out there too if you're gonna be out and about. Pico de gallo. I like that too. I like that. I like all of that. Anyway, man, let's get back to it. 21, Judges 2 and 21. But this is a test, man. This is the book of Joshua. This is the book of Judges. Let me get that. Yeah, this is the book of Judges, chapter 2, verse 21. I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that though them I may prove Israel, right? I may test Israel, whether they will keep the way of the Most High to walk therein as their fathers did keep it or not, right? So, you know, their devices, man, they're not going to go away overnight, So we stuck with what we stuck with. We're stuck with the bad programming. We're stuck with the BET Awards. We stuck with, the rotten social media that we got. We stuck with it, But it's up to us to navigate through all these different things, man. You know, put on some different lenses, man, and view this world in a more righteous and spiritual lens than a carnal lens. You know, let's get we gotta have humility, right? I know that it's lame now. Oh no, I know. Oh, I know. I kind of watched a little bit. I don't really deal with it no more, but I did watch a little bit of it. I had to see a Maya performance though. You know, I had to see that. She did all right. It was kind of short though. She should have had a whole little thing, but that's neither here or there. You know. But yeah, man, you gotta have humility in the hood, man. I know, man. We got tons of excuses that we can make to rob, steal, kill, loot, and all these types of things. But we gotta remember it's a test from the Most High, man, to see if we can get up out of that situation, get up out of that jam. You know, because sometimes we're placed in those situations to see if we could thrive or not, and sometimes it's impossible, man. It feels impossible. You know, and I feel for brothers that's around that. They got to walk outside and straight to the block, and you got to avoid things. Even when you were a young man or a young woman in high school, and you had to walk miles and miles and do this and do that, but the strip club is right down the street. And then you're like, man, forget all this. When I turn 18, I'm doing that because that's fast money, right? So it's like I feel for that because there's a whole bunch of temptations when you're destitute, but we gotta somehow find the Most High, man, and endure. Yeah, come. Yeah, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. That's why we're here, because of our forefathers, man. So when we start that search for our forefathers in Job 8 and 8, man, we got to understand that they went off. And the reason why we live in the certain places that we live, the reason why we go through the things that we go through, the reason why we hunted down in the streets, the reason why we over micromanaged, scared to fix up your hair for the sisters that's at the job, scared to fix up your hair in a certain type of way, and all sorts of things, man. We're here for a reason, man, and that's because we disobeyed the Most High, man. And so we got to get it back. We got to get it back, man. Joshua. Let's get the book of Joshua, chapter 23, and verse 12. And it reads, else if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you, know for a certainty that the Most High, the Yahweh, your power, the Lord your God, will no more drive out these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sides, man. So even for the people that live in the more plush areas, man, they got traps too. You got all these different nations of women, all these different nations of men. You got that word divest being thrown out. You got the negativity, knowing that the so-called black man is just public enemy number one, is the butt of all jokes, right? So you might want to cop out, but that might be a trap and a snare to you, man. You might lose out on knowing who you really are in these last days. And when there's violence and oppression against your people, you gotta self-mute, right? You might have to deal with racism in your with your in-laws if you decide to get married. You know, you might have to walk on eggshells. You might not be able to be who you really are. And there's nothing worse than being in your own house, right? And not really being who you are, man. You might lose your identity, man, with being with these other nations of people that surround you. So we can't give in and cop out and ditch the so-called black man and woman and child, ditch the so-called Hispanic man, woman, and child of Negroid, and indigenous descent, you know? So, we can't cop out and make fun of, and be colorist, just because you have a lighter complexion or whatnot, and all these different things that go on in our communities, right? Yeah, man. Deuteronomy. Ooh, dog, I forgot to get that. Deuteronomy 8:2. I said I married two reasons and sure to cause me to lose much dignity. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. Trust me, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know all about that type of stuff. Can I my phone? Okay, y'all talking to each other. Okay. Right. So this is what happened to our ancestors too, right? Deuteronomy 8:2. And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God, Yahweh thy power, led thee these 40 years in the wilderness to humble thee and to prove thee, right? To know what was in thine heart, what was in your mind for real, and whether you would keep his commandments or not. All right. So that's the test, man. That's the test, whether or not while we're here, all right, for these 400 some odd years and counting, while we're here, if we're going to keep the commandments or not. That's that test, man. That's that test. That's that test. All right. Let's get the book of James. The book of James real quick and see what it says. We got the solid 6 on all praises. The water for your participation and the comments and all that. Keep the algorithm going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to the video. I know this is the Chicago channel, so we trying to build this one up too. All praises. Slowly but surely. Growth is good, obviously. Right? James 1:4. But let patience have her perfect work, man, that ye may be perfect and entire and wanting nothing. Yeah. God. It's a test, man, but I hope we pass this one. Yeah, I know that. I know that's the try. Yes, that too. Perseverance. That the trying of your faith work and patience, man. So, if you fall down, right, got to get back up, man, and keep on trying, man, and see it to the end. We got to see this thing to the end. I know it's injustice. I know when they kill us, they get all free, but they're going to have to answer for that thing, because he lets their cup fill up to the very brim before it spills. And right now, America's cup isn't filled up all the way yet, so we got to be patient, man, because we saints and we got to exercise that patience, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, man, we got to persevere. And we got to know the Most High is going to have our back. All right. And have the Most High is going to have our back. Let's get the book of Psalms. I don't want of anything anymore. Come on, just life and health, man. Life and health, man. That's really all we got. That's really all we got, man. Because when the Most High says that we're done here. And then who knows how much longer we gotta wait? Who knows how much longer we gotta wait to get back to get right? If we didn't have enough works, You don't want to sit there and like, man, I could have did more, right? I could have did more. Hold on. We're going to get that too. Hold on. Let's get that right now. Colossians. So I got that too. I'm glad you brought that up. Colossians 3. Colossians 3 and 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto men. Right? So we got to do 110%, man. You know, let's be called great when we make it to the kingdom, most high willing. You know, let's be called great, man. Let's be called great. Even, you know, we don't need everybody. We don't need everybody, man. We just need a few, right? But let's be called great, man. Let's be called great, man. Let's be more than a doorknob. You know what I'm saying? Let's let's get Matthew 20, 25, and 21. Let's do this. You know, let's be, because we're going to judge the nations. We're going to judge the angels. You know, we got a lot of things that we're going to do, man. We're going to be more than last. We're going to be more than thugs. We're going to be more than harlots, than you know, all these derogatory things that they say about this, man. We're more than that, man. We're kings. We're kings. We're queens and kings. We're governors, right? We're judges, right? Even I talked about Deborah being the judge, you know, inspiring a whole army of men, you know, to go into battle, man. We're so much more as a people. We're so much more as a people, man. That's why we got to get back to these scriptures, man, so we can get motivated. Because whatever are in these books and how they came about, books are missing, right? There's transliterations. There's all types of things, right? But this, how it is written right now, how it's compiled, and all these books in here is enough to get us back to the Most High. It's enough. It's enough. It's enough. You know, it's enough to get us back. And everything else that was missing will be revealed to us. But this is the blueprint, man. This is the route. This is the route, man. This is the way. You know, this is the way. Get the Matthew 25. And let's get, and his Lord said unto him, this is Christ, this is Yahweh speaking. And his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Right? So we'll be ruler over many things, man, if we do these few things. If we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, if we show each other dignity, kindness, respect, if we pick each other up, if we carry our burdens, you know, if we uplift one another and not be divisive, not load up the TikTok and start saying all these different types of things about the men, about the women, and all the, you know what I'm talking about, man. You know, we got a job to do. We got a job to do, man. And there's a great rewards, man. Great rewards for this. Great rewards for these things, man. Psalms. Let's get Psalms. The book of Psalms, man. This is what's happening, right? Psalms 11 and 4. The Most High is in his holy temple. The Most High's throne is in heaven. Okay? His eyes behold, his eyelids try the children of men. So he tests us, man. And he's watching us. Right? And he's watching us. You know? This is a daily reminder because, you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes when the camera goes off, you know, sometimes we act unbecoming, you know. And, you know, you got to understand, though, that this camera never goes off. Right? That's a reminder to myself. That's a reminder to everybody that's watching the video. You know, we don't get nothing. The Most High has always got that camera on, right? It's always on. His eyes burn 1,000 times brighter than the sun, and he can see what you're doing, right? And may he have mercy on our souls, when we do fall off and when we do make mistakes. Always watching, man. And his angels always writing down what we say too, right? So everything is being accounted for in these rentals that we call vessels, you know. Yeah, so take care of yourself, man. Don't let the job beat you down. Mental health, mental stress is a thing, you know. That's how arguments and disputes happen domestically and all that, man. We got to communicate. We got to gather around this word, man, and reconcile with each other, reconcile with the Most High. That's what really this thing is about. That's what really this thing is about. Ecclesiastes. Yeah, but Constance is always watching. Let's put that up. Ecclesiastes. Let's get that. 3. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 18. And it reads, I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that the Most High might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. Right? For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Every one thing befalleth them. As the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all but one breath, so that man hath no permanence above a beast, for it is all vanity, man. So really what this is trying to say, man, is just we got to be more. We got to be more, than what they label as two savages, right? The Indians. No, man, we're judges, we're princes, we're kings, right? 1 Peter 2:9, man, we're kings and priests, man. Our sisters are prophetesses, judges, like I just said, man. We're so much more. So let's not let this kingdom, fool you and deceive you. That's why we got to come back to these law, statutes, and commandments to find our identity. I was just saying that on the streets, man, like, if we all wore priestly and kingly garments, right? The young brothers, it's going to hit a little bit different when you try to point that switch up at them, because they dress so royal, it's going to hit a little bit different. And then you're going to recognize like, oh man, so we're way much more than YNs, right? For the young brothers out there, man. We got so much more that's going on, man. We got a kingdom. We got a kingdom that's being prepared for us. That's gonna come down from heaven to earth, man. Shoot, we got servants and handmaids to pick out. We got rooms and mansions to look at, right? And all these different types of marvelous things, man. 1 Corinthians, I believe this is 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. I got a couple more, then we'll close out. 1 Corinthians 6:3. Right. So like I'm saying, 1 Corinthians 6:3, know ye not that we shall judge angels, right? Or verse 2, do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world, right? So with these two questions, I mean, we have to, live up to these types of things, being reckless, saying IDAF all the time, using excuses and everything to live the way that you live and how you operate, man. Oh yeah, beautiful. I'll get that too. But we got to have decorum and resolve. Especially if you're going to be judging something as powerful as a fallen angel, right? If we're going to be judging the whole world, we got to have some presence about us, man. So we got to get up off this lowly state, man. We got to shake this thing off, man. We got to shake this lowly state off, and we got to come back into our identity and our nationality, man. Because we're more than what this country and these illegal eagles say that we are, man. Because that eagle is doing a dive, and he's coming back down. All right, just like that SpaceX and all these different types of things, man. So we got to have a higher level of reasoning too, man. Higher level of reasoning. As an ambassador of Christ, in the handbook it reads, this is something for me to be mild mannered, man, in all situations, and to not have explosions, right? Not to keep things bottled in and just explode on everybody, right? So it's a process. We got to work on it. It's a battle. It's a battle within yourself. It's a battle against this country and our captivity, But we're going to get it right slowly but surely, man. We got to do one thing at a time, 1 year at a time, one season at a time, so on and so forth. What you got, Mother Thine? Psalms 103:19. The Lord hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom rule for all, man. Come. That's beautiful. Come. Let's get. Oh, I like this one. I like this one because we on that now. In Philippians 2:4. 2:4, man. A lot of times it's like every man for himself in this country. Every man for himself in this country, man. Oh, man. But we got to get out that mentality. We ain't going to get no blessings like that, right? Look, not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others, man. So let your own, let's look out for the interests of the group, right? That's true nation building, especially when you're starting from the bottom like we are, right? We got to look out for the interests of the group, man. And what's the best move for everybody? Because that's how we wind up doing what? Joining hand in hand with the other nations, right? Like those sisters from Black Lives Matter, right? Powerful movement, but at the end of the day, you look out for your own interests. You move in with these devils, and you still get cooked. You still get cooked, You still get cooked, man, and digitally lynched, because all the businesses out there. Well, really, now if you was grassroots and you were true to this thing, probably be a different story. You probably still walk around, in public, doing interviews. Yeah, we stood up for the right thing. Stand up for the right thing. Stand up for the interests of our people, man. And don't be like, Messy Jesse Jackson and what's his name, Al Sharpton, just looking out for you could see those. You could see it from a mile away, man. Some of our people, and that's why it says in James chapter 14 that the gates languish. Our leaders, they look out for their own interests. Leaders, celebrities, entertainers, those are the leaders that we are forced to have, by our enemies, right? And we got to be selfless. We got to look out for the interests of the group, not for the individual. Because if we have numbers, we're more powerful. See, that so-called white man, it don't matter what they did. What they did don't matter what it is, they still gonna rally behind them. They still gonna rally behind each other, no matter what. We're so quick to ask one another for little things, and now we lose support, and now the enemy can come in and take what they need to take from the leader that did such and such. That's what it is, man. Let's get Proverbs 29. Let's get Proverbs 29, man. What'd you say? It's sad. Yeah, it's sad to me, that family will do it to us. Yeah, be family. Be family. Yeah, we all got issues with the family. You know, I've seen Will Smith's done open a restaurant to feed the homeless. He said he can't sleep knowing he's filthy rich and people out there. And that's that guilt. That's that guilt, though. That's that guilt sometimes. I think too, there's a clip of Tupac saying something like that too. Like, how could you have? I was just seeing Akon walk through, it's taking a walk, and he's walking through his garage and he's got more cars, than a dealership. And it's like, how do you do that? Like, how do you do that, man? You got to be some type. You got to be some type of dude to be walking around with all those rooms in your house that are empty, all that food in your fridge that are empty, all those cars that are collecting dust, and not build a mighty community off of that, and just have it all to yourself, right? Yeah, no, it's very silly, man. It's very silly. You got two or three because you got a future child you want to give it to. All right, I'll take that. If you got a wife and she into NASCAR or something like that, and she got a couple, and now y'all got four, right? I mean, that's cool. But I mean, you talk about like a whole, you talk about like a whole thing, man. You're talking about like 12 cars, and they all like thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, man. And it's just, it's vanity. It's vanity because you can't take none of that with you. You can't take none of these things with you, right? Can't take none of these things with you. Let's get Proverbs again. Proverbs again. But the Most High knows what you need, though. Most High knows what you need. No, we're not asking for a fleet full of cars and mansions with 14 rooms and 10 bathrooms in it. But the Most High knows what you need and what you want and everything, right? So Proverbs 16:3, commit thy works unto the Most High, right? And thy thoughts shall be established, right? And that's something, I was thinking about too, because I overthink sometimes, right? And I want to do this, and I think that would be cool, and da da da, and all these types of different things, and all of a sudden, you cause yourself to stress out, right? But if you just keep the main thing, right? Keep the main thing, man. Matthew 6:33, man. Chase the kingdom, and everything else is gonna get added to you, man. Everything that's in your mind that's good, that's seemly to the Most High, that's gonna benefit not only you but the interests of your people, that's gonna be established in due time. That's gonna be established in due time. But keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? The work comes first. He said, "Oh, this guy, no more those business related." A car and a truck. No, that's fine, man. That's fine. Especially if you get like like the old school ones. Old school ones. And everything. You got like a Bentley and all these types of different situations. That might be like, yo, you might be able to do good with that. That's like $100,000 car. You know what you could do with $100,000? Especially for a congregation and all these types of things. We got to be better than these pastors in these Christian churches. Hogging up all the tithes, not doing nothing with it. All the money that the church gets. They should be building schools on all these different types of things, but they look to their own interests. But we can't be like that, man. We can't be like that. All right? Can't be like that. Let's get one more and then we're going to close out. Get one more, then we're going to close this thing out, man. All praises to the Most High. It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6. It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, man. All right? So, I know you got to, get a little tired every now and time, but for in due season we shall reap if we faint not, man. So if we keep this thing going, if we keep two hands on the plow this season, right? Keep two hands on this plow, man. We just keep on pushing these works out, man. You know, it's gonna be to our benefit. It's gonna be to our benefit. I I'm not tired. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. Let's get what else we got? What else we got here? What else we got? I don't got nothing else, man, because this is the class. But but no, I know I'm just teasing. But no, man. So let's not be weary. I know all the scripture, right? Let's not be weary in due season, right? We gotta keep. Hey, I gotta come back though. I gotta come back. I gotta keep on hitting these Fridays for y'all, man. Gotta keep on hitting these Fridays. Okay, okay. Yeah, you'll let me slide. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna be on tomorrow too. You know what I'm saying? Most I willing with Chief Priest. So we're gonna keep it up. We're gonna keep this thing up, man. Um, all praises to the Most High, man. I love y'all, man. The water for all y'all support. Um, happy Shabbat Friday evening to all of y'all. May y'all have a beautiful times with your friends and your families. Happy Prep Day for the brothers to the four corners of the earth, man. That's trying to go out, wake up their people. And I'll see y'all on the next one too, as well. Off the water, sister. The water. The water, Wonder Water, the water. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Praise man. I can't wait to see y'all in person too one day. Man, hopefully sometime soon. But y'all have a good night, man. Tawawala and Kwame Asharala. You know, it don't stop till we get the kingdom. All right. All right. Peace. Shalom.